Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Red Pill Rising. The topic of today's video is about approach anxiety. What happens when you get the ball rolling? Now, I know that approach anxiety is probably one of the largest obstacles to meeting new women. It's probably the biggest issue when it comes to men meeting women. There's a lot of places along the course of action, the process, where you're meeting and dating women and trying to have sex with them and get into relationships with them. It could be conversation, it could be topics, it could be body language, it could be communication style. But for me, the largest obstacle and the first one to overcome is approach anxiety. If you don't get past approach anxiety, all of the other stuff is mute. I mean, you can study red pill knowledge all you want, but unless you go up to a woman and talk with her face to face, all that other stuff is not going to do you any good at all. So I'm going to make quite a few videos about approach anxiety, and this one is basically what happens when you get the ball rolling. The first time you go out in field and you're determined to do a set number of approaches. Let's say you're going to do 10 approaches during the night, one way or another. The first one's going to be the hardest. That's the one that you have to talk yourself into. That's the one where you get all nervous and you get the sweats and you're not sure you can do it, and your wingman has to stand behind you and say, "It's your turn, go over there right now and do it." And you get through it. You go up, let's just suppose you bomb. You're nervous and you're sweaty and you stutter and the conversation gets weird and the chicks are looking at you like you're crazy, and you totally bomb ass out, and you go back to your buddies and everyone's laughing and it's a good time. You've broken the ice. Okay, now every subsequent approach that night becomes a little bit easier. This is where you get the ball rolling. It's also known as the snowball effect. Okay, and what happens after 2 or 3 approaches? The anxiety kind of disappears altogether, and it's replaced with excitement, but not the catchphrase excitement. True excitement. I mean, it becomes fun. It's exhilarating. It's just a game. You realize that nothing goes wrong. And when you approach at this point, your responses get a lot better because you're natural and you're relaxed and you're calm and your true awesome personality comes out, and you have quick witty lines and you're shooting them out and there's no pressure. You realize that there's no pressure, and the women can sense that. A confident man with no pressure, who's not putting pressure on himself or them, is very attractive. And you start getting numbers, and you start having, sweet conversations and very, very high level, high value interactions. This is what's called getting into the flow or the zone, or in pickup, it's typically called in state. Okay, it's the state of flow where you're not inhibited by negative emotions. That's what happens when you get the ball rolling. At this point, you can basically approach any woman or a set, 2 women, 3 women, a group, whatever, endlessly, all night, and effortlessly. That's when things really begin to click. That's when you're truly having fun. And when you get in state like this, it's empowering. Okay, it's not just that the approach anxiety fades, but you're actually energized. You're propelled forward by your success. The whole night carries you. and it becomes almost effortless to approach anyone you want. And when you're doing this, you can just end up talking to hot chicks all night, or you can go for numbers, or you can practice a routine in several different fashions. But your true, authentic, genuine self is allowed to express at this point once you get into flow, once you get the ball rolling. So just bear in mind that when you go out, the first several approaches are always going to be difficult, because you're in your headspace. You're thinking about work and what you got to do tomorrow, and does your breath smell, and do you dress nice, and where's the bar, and are there any chicks in here at all, and whatever. You got to get past all that. Make your first couple approaches. Just forget about the way they're going to turn out. Just take off the expectations. Get through the first couple. Just get it over with. Go ahead, get the ball rolling, get in state, and then you can start having a lot of fun. So just bear in mind that everything that you want, all the good stuff, is just beyond your fear and your pain. But you have to intentionally push yourself through that fear and that pain and that anxiety phase to get to the good stuff. But trust me, it's there. Whether you have success or whether you have failure, if you ask out 10 women and you get 10 failures, you're still going to have an amazing night. The experience that you get stays with you, because the longer amount of time that you spend in a flow state, the more natural it becomes for you. You're actually conditioning yourself to be this relaxed, confident man around hot women. So that's what you want, but you've got to break through the ice in the beginning every time. You've got to get through that very uncomfortable, awkward, scary initial approach phase. And once you get past that, the momentum is going to shift. It's going to go your way. You're going to get the ball rolling. And after that, it just becomes a lot of fun. This is when you have the opportunity to condition yourself to become, pickup guy, pickup artist. Pickup is still a numbers game. I mean, the first 7 chicks you might hit on will actually be with their husbands or their boyfriend. And you didn't know that. I mean, there's no way for you to know that. There's not going to be a venue unless it's specifically set up like a meetup of some sort where everyone is single, which, by the way, is a great place to go and practice talking to people. But that's another video. This one is specifically about approach anxiety. So yeah, get through the tough part and the good stuff comes after. Trust me, get out there and do it. This has been the Red Pill Rising.